2025, and this year marks the 50th anniversary of the Porsche 924. First unveiled in November 1976, the Porsche 924 was meant to be a joint venture between friends VW and Porsche. However, in the early 70s, VW decided to pull out, but Porsche carried it on. And then the Porsche 924 became the successor to the Porsche 914. Now, when Porsche needed an engine for the 924, the guys went over to Audi and bought the rights to their 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, which at the time was found in the Audi 100. Then the nerds at Stuttgart took the engine, did a bit of work to it, managed to get about 125 horsepower out of the little 2-litre engine. Now, they run an electronic ignition and a mechanical fuel injection called K-Jet. Now, this engine was also used by VW in the LT vans, hence why when everyone sees a 924 they say how this is the Porsche with a van engine. Now, despite the 924's low power figure, it being a transaxle, which means the gearbox sits here at the back while the engine is at the front, it results in a near perfect 50-50 weight distribution, which makes handling very good and it very predictable. This goes for the same with the 944, the 928 and the 968. Production ran from 1976 to 1985. During that time, there weren't any major changes. There was very slight facelifts and different features came out, with the Porsche bringing out a sunroof, electric mirrors, electric windows, and they added a spoiler in 1982. This is actually a 944 spoiler, so it is slightly bigger. Now, in 1985, production of the 924 ended. This is because Porsche ran out of the license that they bought from Audi for their engine. This is when Porsche took the 944 2.5 straight 4 and put it into the 924, creating the 924S. Now, a 924S had all the brakes, all the suspension, gearbox and engine from a 944, and they were basically the same. However, Porsche did slightly detune the 924S down to just under 150 horsepower. As we move to the boot here and opening it up using the key, we are left with quite a lot of space back here. Now, it's plenty of space for a weekend away for a couple of people, a mountain bike. We press these buttons on the top of the seats here and it folds the seats flat, so you're left with a really big area. Obviously you lose the capability to have rear passengers, but let's face it, it wasn't really there to start with. But yeah, we're left with a massive area, and I've even managed to fit a mattress in the back of one of these and actually camp in here. Now, despite good sales, the Porsche 924 didn't get much love, and although they're very much gaining popularity now, people still have the same view, the fact that it's just a parts bin car of VW and Audi parts slapped together in an Audi factory and the Porsche badge on the front. Now, with that aside, what's it like to own and drive a 924? Well, maybe I'm slightly biased because I've had quite a few of these, and I also had one as my first car, which I learnt to drive in and I've still got today. Now, this one here, I actually pulled out of a barn back in October, and I stuck an MOT on it, but it then sat. However, a few weeks ago, I thought, why not? And I taxed it, insured it, and in my first 2 or 3 days of having it on the road, it did 400 miles without putting up any stress at all. Now, this was a few weeks ago, and since then I've actually been daily driving it, and I do absolutely love it. Now, handling. Despite what I mentioned earlier about the 50-50 weight distribution and it being very well balanced, the suspension is a little bit soft. It does mean that in the corners you wallow around a little bit. This isn't helped by the 14-inch tarantulas that they come on from standard, which have a massive sidewall which adds to the floatiness. Well, this can be fixed, some 30mm lowering springs, and there was an optional sport pack which meant you got the wheels from the 924 Turbo. These were a 15, meant you could have a bit lower profile tyres. You can really feel a difference when you have those on. I really quite like the seating position. Even when you're short like me, you've got you can reach the pedals fine, you've got a nice distance from the steering wheel, and you can see quite well over the dash. However, it's different to the 928 where I quite struggle a little bit. Now, gear throw is quite nice, even without a short shifter. It's quite short, responsive, not quite notchy, but it's a nice feel to it. Steering is nice, it's very, very direct, it's got a nice weight to it. You do really have to rev it out to make the most of it. All the power's at the top end, nothing really down below. Brakes, I think brakes are quite a downfall of this thing. Not brilliant. They do like to cook themselves quite quickly. Now, what's the shocker about these is the price that you can pick them up at. You can buy a solid and complete one for about 1,500 quid. Yes, it'll be a non-runner, but you can get these running in no time at all. I picked my first one up and I was not a mechanic, I'd never had experience, never been to mechanics college, and within a few hours I had it running. And they're really, really simple to work on and really cheap to buy parts from. Timing belt kit, £21, fuel pump, 50 quid, water pump, 60 quid. You can buy an entire engine for one of these for about 250 quid. It's nuts. A really, really nice one of these will set you back about £6,000. But even then, I think you'd struggle to buy something that's got as much fun and character and has the Stuttgart logo on the front. Yes, you could buy a Boxster, but everyone will see you as a hairdresser. Buy one of these and you've got pop-up headlights, the Porsche badge, and a bag load of fun for not a lot of money. If you're a young person, if you're just passing your tests, or looking for a project car, or looking for a fun car, I wouldn't really look much further than this. I don't know what else you'd be able to buy at the 1,500 quid, £2,000 mark, you know, and there's a lot of modifications you can do to these things. You can buy coilovers, lowering springs, exhaust, cams, throttle bodies, and you can make them quite unique, and they are just really easy to work on. And then at the end of the day, you'd actually be able to insure it. I mean, even an MX-5 will cost more than this, and you've got pop-up headlights and you've got the Porsche badge on the front. What are you doing? This road here is where I did my first burnout, about 2 days after passing my test in my 924. I did remember my exhaust immediately then fell off after that. So yes, you do have issues, but what 40-year-old car doesn't? It's just character. Like all cars, you're going to have issues. In the last few weeks of driving this, it's been pretty much flawless, other than the fact that the heater has decided to stick on, and it is mid-May and it's about 25 degrees right now. So I am cooking. I would have the windows open, but I want to be able to talk to the camera. And this morning the door handle broke, so I now have to open it from the passenger side to get in here. The trigger just does nothing now. So later this afternoon, pull off the door card, fix the door handle. It's just all a part of the fun, isn't it? So thank you very much for watching this Redlined Classics video. I do hope you've enjoyed. When I made the 928 video back in March now, nearly 3 months ago, I did tell myself, oh, I'd quite like to do this more, maybe a video every couple of weeks or so. Well, I failed miserably at that, because it's now nearly 3 months later and I'm only just making my next video. So hopefully now that summer's now here and the sun's shining in England for once, that I'd be doing a bit more videos. I've got this 924 out, so I thought it'd be nice to do a 924 review. and an EFI kit has just arrived for my 924 Turbo, so hopefully be fitting that. Maybe a European road trip. My 944S I very much do want to revive from the dead, so I think a video will be out on that of me shouting and screaming while I try and revive it, because it does run, it just has no oil pressure whatsoever. But anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.